What's up, guys? Welcome back. It's Kid Sario, and today I got some more Sparking Zero news for you. Sorry, I went on a little hiatus here, but I'm back and we're gonna jump right into things. First off, this is the Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, You Know Your Fighters. It's a refresher for all those who forgot everything about Sparking Zero up until now. It talks about, in the article, we're gonna go through the different fighting styles and unique appearances you could do in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, like the quick time events, switches, transformation, and fusions. I see the table of contents shows 3 segments. The first segment is going to be types of characters. You can enjoy different play styles in Sparking Zero depending on the strength and the fighting habits of the characters in the original series. All of that basically to say stats and transformations will matter. The first character archetype is strength. The characters are going to base their gameplay around heavy strikes and powerful blasts, even though they might be slower. Yeah, Jiren? Yeah, I think so. It also says some of the characters will be so strength orientated they may not even stagger, kind of like I've seen Broly been doing. Based on statistics, characters can have 2 types of specializations, melee and blast. The first one will enhance damage dealt with rush combos and close combat, while the second implies the character's blast attacks. Speed. On the opposite end, characters base their attack strategy on their swiftness, which they use for long assaults and are hard to interrupt. Even if some of their strikes are lighter, your opponent will have trouble trying to catch you as you move quickly all over the map and deliver combos with stunning speed. So basically any character not in this fighting class will have trouble dealing with them, and strength is super powerful, tanky, and speed is super annoying to deal with, exactly how I imagined it to be. Which brings up the question, how will Jiren be able to fight since he has both archetypes? He's both extremely powerful and extremely fast. So I wonder how they're going to implement that. Ki Blast. Jumping from power and speed to Ki Blast. There are some characters who master Ki Blast, excelling in a fighting style that they can maintain control while keeping the opponent at a distance. They have the ability to fire multiple consecutive energy blasts while consuming minimal energy. Vegeta is a good example for his powerful Ki Blast. Goku, who can unleash the iconic Kamehameha, and Frieza, who has the precise death beam. The reason why I question Goku is because Goku doesn't really use energy blasts like that, but maybe they were referring to his ultimate attacks, but that shouldn't count. Which leads us back to Vegeta, who has his iconic energy volley Ki Blast attacks where he lights you up with his amazing ki control. Giant characters. Given their impressive size, these characters are much slower but more powerful. The blows will stagger your opponent and send them flying away. On top of that, they are numb to throws and blast attacks. You can take advantage of their overwhelming presence on the map and hit your opponent with a wide range. Their impressive size and power comes at the expense of having trouble hitting smaller opponents. I did notice that characters swing low to the ground, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like they'll be able to have a good time fighting somebody like Chaozu. Next up, we have androids, which is my favorite so far. Androids are artificial humans who don't necessarily possess ki. In fact, they cannot charge ki unless energy reaches max level. The ki gauge will fill up automatically over time or through melee attacks. To incorporate this into your strategy, continue to strike with rush combos, giving your opponent no chance to charge ki. Some androids even have the ability to absorb ki blasts and certain blast attacks during super perception, which will charge the ki faster. Android 13, 16, 17, and 18 will charge ki automatically, while 18 Jiro will charge ki by landing melee attacks. Furthermore, they can absorb ki blasts, attack, and ki waves. Chapter 2, a unique look. Try characters with unique looks and distinctions in Sparking Zero. The game faithfully reproduces some features of the series where, whether it's accessories, cosmetics, that may not affect the character's gameplay. Sword. You can enjoy multiple fighting styles in Sparking Zero, as sword fighting is one of them. Iconic swordsmen from the series will use their swords in lots of combos, rush and blast, faithfully recreate them famous moves. There are also characters who use sword beams to launch energy attacks. Super Aura. Some characters, such as the strongest form in Dragon Ball Super, have the ability to have their aura always on. Their power is overflowing, which means this is a visual representation of their ki. Goku is a good example of this. Broly is another one. Maybe full power Jiren. Next up is Scouter. The Scouter is an iconic item from Dragon Ball. In the game, you can select characters mostly from the Frieza Force and equip them with the Scouter as an accessory, which will grant a boost in tracking depending on the Scouter equipped. Oh, that's awesome. So it'll be split up into different categories of how strong the Scouter is. Kind of like they hinted at in Dragon Ball Kakarot and just in the series in general. This accessory will allow you to locate your opponent without taking too long. Notice the battle damage could result in the destruction of the Scouter. With the Scouter destroyed, it becomes difficult to locate the opponent if they're lost from sight. Oh, so maybe like Frieza in his first form is going to have a difficult time finding opponents like he did in the show. Ground characters. Like Dragon Ball series, some characters cannot fly. Once they jump, they will slowly fall back to the ground, kind of like Mr. Satan. That's all there is there for me, but you do have the ability to toggle flying on and off in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, so taking advantage of that feature will allow the ground characters to excel a little bit further. I know that's going to be really, really interesting. Moving right along, we have our next category, which is special maneuvers. In Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, you can perform special maneuvers that do not fall under the combo category or the fast attack category. Transformation. Select the transformation and press up on the D-pad to display transformations. Then select with your respective button to perform it during the fight while using skill counts. The statistics of the character will improve while transformed. That's really dope. So if you choose base Goten and base Trunks and then fuse during the fight, his statistics will improve better than Gotenks if you just choose him from the load screen, which is a really nice tidbit. I love that. Speaking of fusion can only be used when two characters who fuse are in your team. Fuse into a character shown on the fusion panel by pressing the respective button, which bring up the transformation panel, then select it. Once fused, the characters will disappear from your team member screen and be replaced with the single fused character. Note they cannot go back to normal. So once you fuse into a character, there's no transforming back for the rest of the fight. Switch. The switch is possible once the change icon is light. This mechanic is called chase change. In team battle, switch while attacking to let your switching character continue the assault. I think I've seen Death Daddy use this ability where he swapped from an ultimate attack into another, which was really, really cool. Sparking mode. To enter sparking mode, you must charge your ki gauge to its maximum and even further. You will need to spend one skill count to reach sparking mode. Sparking mode not only enhances your abilities but offers variety of other benefits, such as allowing you to shoot ki blasts without consuming ki, use movements such as Violet Rush, which must be that endless attack mode. You can perform continuous rush attacks until your ki gauge runs out, resulting in interrupted barrages of melee attacks. Emote. You can perform an emote displayed in the emote panel by pressing the right on the D-pad assigned to the character prior to the fight. Perform the emote while your favorite character for a cool stance. That's pretty cool. Quick time event, QTE. Once the certain moves are performed by both players, a quick time event sequence will start. The winner can take advantage in battle by delivering additional damage and sending the opponent away. Quick time events will allow you to make your fights unique and unpredictable. They shift in a way that the battles flow. Make sure you include it into your battle strategy to throw your opponent's rhythm off. Speed impact. A speed impact sees two fighters clash and trades a series of blows. Perform a speed impact by charging with your opponent using drag and dash, which is the back trigger on the right side of the attack button. It's divided into two main parts. First, during the single strike, and then in the rapid strike. The rapid strike will show the final damage by the number of inputs performed on each player. When the rapid strike ends, the winner of the single strike will send the opponent flying. Power impact. Power impact happens once the characters perform a throw. The impact action is centered around comparing strength by holding the corresponding buttons. During the clash, a gauge will be displayed. You must adjust your inputs in order to not exceed the needle. The winner is determined by whose gauge is closest to the needle when the power impact ends. It will make more sense once we have the game in front of us and we can see how our inputs affect the impacts, and trying to mash or do the circle input during a clash will be difficult in itself. Crash impact. Crash impact is triggered when both characters use a step at the same time. Once a crash impact begins, the two sides will randomly be assigned to roles of attackers and defenders. The input for the attacker and the defender are different, so the players must follow directions on screen. If the attacker wins the exchange, defender will take damage. If the defender wins, then they will protect themselves. It's a best of 3, so whoever wins 2 of the clashes wins the impact, and next we have blast impact. Blast impact is an impact that occurs when 2 ranged blasts perform a collision. A meter will be displayed on screen, and the gauge on the right side will begin to increase. Players will press the corresponding button to convert the gauge into energy for your blast, affecting whose blast comes out on top. In addition to single button presses, you can increase power through tapping rapidly. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero will launch on October 11th for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, PC. Pre-orders for the digital and Ultimate Edition will come with the 3 days early access, which we all know, and the showing of Dragon Ball Daima will also air. The pre-order bonus is Goku Mini from the upcoming series Dragon Ball Daima, and the early access starts on October 8th, which is less than 7 days away. That's gonna do it for today's video, you guys. So I'll see you in the next one. This is Kid Sariel, and thanks for watching my video. Make sure you leave a comment to say who you're most excited to play coming in the next 6 days, and make sure you do a pre-order so we can fight in the future. Peace.